Right now, in 2026, every major government in the developed world is racing to mandate digital identification for their citizens. The European Union is rolling out their digital identity wallet. The United Kingdom is building age verification infrastructure into the entire internet. The United States has multiple state level mandates already in place. The pitch from all of them is basically the same. It is secure, it is modern, your data is protected, just trust us. And then on April 15th, 2026, the French National Agency for Secure Titles got breached. They are the agency responsible for issuing every national identification card, every passport, and every driver's license in France. Their entire job is keeping that infrastructure secure. The breach exposed up to 18 million records, which the agency later confirmed at 11.7 million accounts. That is somewhere between a quarter and a third of every adult in the country, depending on which number you go with. The hackers posted the database for sale on hacker forums on April 16th. They left a message mocking the French government's security infrastructure. And then on May 4th, French authorities announced they had detained the suspect behind the largest identity database breach in the country's history. The hacker was 15 years old, not a state actor, not a sophisticated cybercriminal organization, a teenager. And here's the thing, nobody is connecting in any of the mainstream coverage. France is one of the countries currently preparing to launch the European Union Digital Identity Wallet. The same government that could not keep its existing identity database away from a high schooler is being trusted to build unified digital identity infrastructure for hundreds of millions of Europeans. This is not a French story, this is a preview for what's next for the world. So let me actually walk through what got taken, because the numbers around this breach kept changing and the official narrative kept shifting. The breach was detected on April 15th. But the National Agency for Secure Titles did not publicly disclose it until April 22nd, a full week later. In their announcement, they confirmed the data exposed could include full names, login identifiers, email addresses, dates of birth, places of birth, postal addresses, phone numbers, and unique account identifiers tied to identification document applications. The agency tried to downplay it. They said the disclosure did not include attachments, did not allow direct access to user accounts, and that no action is required from users. Meanwhile, on hacker forums, the threat actors were claiming 18 to 19 million records and posting sample data to prove it. The Paris prosecutor's office later confirmed the number was somewhere between 12 and 18 million. The agency officially settled on 11.7 million confirmed accounts impacted by April 24th. But here's the part that matters for context. This is not the first time. In September of 2025, reports surfaced of a previous breach exposing roughly 12 to 13 million records from the same agency. The agency never confirmed that one. In December 2025, France's Interior Ministry admitted hackers had compromised email servers and accessed criminal-related documents. In January 2026, the French Immigration Office confirmed foreign nationals' data had been stolen via subcontractors. So when the April breach happened, this was at least the fourth significant compromise of French government identity infrastructure in less than 12 months. The word secure in the National Agency for Secure Titles is doing a lot of heavy lifting at this point. The 15-year-old reveal is the part that I think genuinely deserves more attention than it is getting. Let me say this clearly. The National Identity Database of a Group of 7 country, an agency whose entire purpose is the secure issuance of passports and government identification, an agency operating under the French Ministry of the Interior with full backing of the National Cybersecurity Authority, was broken into by a high schooler. According to the Paris prosecutor's office statement on May 4th, the suspect, identified only as a 15-year-old minor, was the same person operating under the Breach 3D alias on the hacker forums. The investigation is ongoing, and other suspects may still be identified, but the lead actor was a teenager. And the response from French authorities so far has not been to fundamentally rethink the architecture of how the country stores citizen identity data. It has been to detain the kid, investigate the breach, and continue with planned digital identity projects, including the country's integration into the European Union Digital Identity Wallet rollout, scheduled for 2027. The implicit message is that this was a one-off failure caused by a sufficiently motivated individual and that the broader infrastructure is fundamentally sound. But that is not what the pattern shows. The pattern shows repeated failures across multiple agencies, multiple subcontractors, and multiple data types, all happening simultaneously, all targeting the same kind of centralized identity infrastructure that the European Union Digital Identity Wallet is built on. A 15-year-old did not break a fundamentally secure system. A 15-year-old exposed a fundamentally fragile one. Now here is where this stops being a French problem and starts being everyone's problem. The European Union Digital Identity Wallet is scheduled for full rollout in 2027 across all European Union member states, including France. The pitch is that this wallet will replace fragmented national identification systems with one unified biometric secured cryptographically protected digital identity that citizens can use to access government services, financial services, and increasingly the open internet. The agency that just lost millions of records to a 15-year-old is part of the French infrastructure being integrated into this rollout. And we already have a preview of how the European Union Digital Identity Wallet itself performs under scrutiny. I made a video about this a few weeks ago. In April 2026, a security researcher publicly demonstrated bypassing the European Union Digital Identity Wallet's biometric locks and PIN codes in under 2 minutes, using nothing but a free plain text file explorer. The wallet that is supposed to replace and improve on legacy systems in the country where the National Identity Agency just got breached has already been demonstrated to have its own significant vulnerabilities at the application layer. And this is not unique to France or the European Union. India already deployed mandatory digital identity at scale, which has been breached repeatedly across multiple incidents affecting hundreds of millions of records. The United Kingdom is rolling out its own age verification and digital identity infrastructure under the Online Safety Act, with multiple verification vendors already getting hit by data breaches and regulatory fines. The United States is layering similar mandates state by state, with Discord losing 70,000 government identification photos through its third-party verification vendor in October 2025. The pattern is consistent across every country attempting this. Government tells citizens the new digital identification system is more secure than what came before. The new system either gets breached itself or the existing system that it integrates with gets breached. The rollout continues anyway. So, what does this mean practically for someone watching this video? The honest answer is that if your country is moving toward mandatory digital identity infrastructure, and basically every developed country is, you have very limited ability to opt out of that infrastructure once it ships. France's existing identification database was not optional. You cannot choose not to have a passport or a driver's license if you need to travel or drive. The European Union Digital Identity Wallet is being built to be increasingly required for accessing government services, banking, and online platforms. The exit hatches are closing. What you can do is understand the pattern clearly, push back on these mandates while they are still being debated rather than after they are shipped, support privacy organizations that are actually litigating these issues, and pay attention to which politicians and parties are actively voting for these rollouts versus which ones are raising objections. Because the pattern that France just demonstrated, the pattern of repeated breaches followed by continued rollouts, is not going to stop at France. The same vendors, the same architectural assumptions, and the same political momentum that produced the French agency breach are present in every country attempting this. The 18 million records that just got listed for sale on a hacker forum are a real preview of what mandatory digital identification at scale actually looks like in practice. The question is not whether your country will be next, it is how many records will be for sale when it happens.